Okay, art one. Art one. Art one. Art one. Sophie, you're going to do this too. Art one, art one. Hazel, I want you to do this. I want you to do this too. And Ruth, I want you to do this too. So everybody get 2 sheets of the drawing paper over there, 9 by 12 right there. Actually, just come up here. Come up here and get 2 sheets of this paper right here. Come up and get 2 sheets of this paper, get a pencil. Nope. Get 2 sheets of paper, get a pencil. That's homework. So that's homework. Okay. So come on up, get your paper, get your pencil. We're going to get going on this. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yeah, what's up?
I leave in 2 minutes. I gotta go.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, if you have to leave, you gotta leave. That's fine. You know? You gotta go, you gotta go. There we go. Okay. Shh. 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 All right, you ready? I need you guys that are painting not to talk, okay? So what I want to do today is I want to talk about hands, okay? So I'm going to get into this hand thing. Up on the screen, I'm going to be showing you guys how to draw this hand, and I want you guys to follow along. Some of you are advanced, but I think you still need the practice, and we can always use practice. So we're going to title this, just title this hand drawing. Okay? Huh? Half the screen what? Oh, it's not working over there?
Right above the TV above you, it's not on.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying a YouTube live thing, and there's going to be a little. So I'll be talking, but like you guys will see, and I'll be drawing, but you guys will see a little bit of lag. But anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this works. And then you guys can always go back and access it. And so, okay, there you go. Thank you for that. Okay, hand drawing, and the date is, what's the date? 12 what? 5/2024, period 7, hand drawing. All right. So here's a hand. Here's our hand sample right here. And what we want to do is we want to approach this in a similar way that we do the human figure. So number one, we want the gesture or action, and I wanna add in angles of the fingers, okay, as part of the gesture and the action, because the fingers are going to be your making your action, doing your movement, okay, and number two, what we want to do is we want to pay attention to shapes. To shapes of things, okay? Now remember, shapes are 2D, they're two-dimensional, okay? And then number three, we want to pay attention to forms. Okay, so those are 3D. All right. Now, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then the last thing we'll do is I'll talk a little bit about values. Okay, and I'm going to constantly, as long as you have me as an art teacher, I'm going to be pounding into your guys' heads fundamental drawing and painting principles, okay? And one of them is values. And we need to have dark values, DRK, medium values, and light values, okay? And then, of course, you have extreme black and extreme white, or white of the page. We already have the white of the page when we're drawing. So having the white of the page, you got to add values. You got to add your mediums. You got to add your dark values. So when we look at this hand drawing on here, if you squint your eyes and you look at the hand, you look at the white background, okay? The hand, it's like a medium value overall, okay? Or a light medium value, okay? So here we go. We're gonna, what I would do first in this situation, if I was gonna draw the hand, is I would do this. So I pretty much will go, let's go, and I'm thinking I wanna leave space for the fingers. So I'm just gonna lightly put in an oval shape, okay? And then I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go, okay, let's put in this part right here like that. You're like, what is that? That's where the creases, see the creases of the fingers are right here. So we have the creases of the fingers right here. And then let's put in the gesture of that first finger, the pointer finger. And that's gonna come down. And let's put in the gesture or the angle of the middle finger. And let's put in and be observant of the angle of the ring finger and the distance between the ring finger and the middle finger. Okay, so this is coming out a little bit farther, and the distance and the angle of the ring finger and the pinky. Okay. So it's something like that. You're like, well, what's going on here? This isn't totally making sense, okay? This is our main shape right now of the hand. Now, the hand has depth, okay? And the hand is like a box. The hand is like a box, okay? The hand is like a box. And it's a very short box, and it's a wide box. So it's short and wide. This is the top of that box, the hand box here. Okay? And this is gonna come back. I'm ignoring the thumb right now. This is gonna come back to the wrist. And this part right here is gonna come back to the wrist. So if I put my hand in a similar situation as that other hand, you can see right here that this is like a corner right here. Even though this is soft and rounded, it still has a side here. This is the, let's just call it the side of the hand. And from here to here is the top of the hand, okay? From right here to here is the top of the hand. And this is a corner right there. And this is a corner down here. This is a corner down here of this hand, okay? So this is gonna come down like this. Now, this is a certain height, right? Let's see if I can zoom in here. If that'll work. There we go. So this is a certain height, and we're going to make this wider as it gets closer to the wrist. Okay, this gets wider as it gets closer to the wrist. And this is gonna come across like so. Now watch this. This is gonna come in, and then this is gonna come down, and this is gonna go like that, okay? So here, this is the wrist right here. Here's the wrist right here. Okay, it's going across right here. It's thicker here. And then if you look at the fingers, let's go like this. okay? Get this into the screen here. This is wider and this is thinner right here. So you want the hand to go wide to thin. And we're talking about realism right now. And even if you're doing something that's stylized or you're doing something that's cartoony, you still want to sometimes be true to what's happening in reality. All right. Now we're going to have the wrist come in. Don't forget to draw in the wrist. So this right here is the wrist box. Looks like it's out of focus a little bit. Okay. So there's the box of the wrist right there, like so. And this is on the other side. Okay. So now let's throw in the thumb here. The thumb, it has if we look at the hand once again, we have muscle right here on the thumb. Okay? And if I move my thumb like this, you can distinctly see that round part of the thumb, that circular part, which is added upon the box of the hand. This is the box part of the hand. You have this additional part of the thumb. The thumb is almost its own entity, okay? So we're gonna add that on there. We put that crease right here. This, there's our thumb. Roundness of the thumb. Now, there's bones underneath here. And if we look at this wrist now and then look at the thumb, pay attention to that. This is coming up. This is a joint right here. This is a corner. And then a bone that's coming up like so. And that's a bone as well like that. And the thumb is moving away from us. Okay, how do we make something look like it's moving away from us? Well, we draw a cylinder. So watch. So let's go like this down here. And let's put a wrapping line going around. Let's put a wrapping line going around like that. Okay? If we go like this and we go like this, okay, and that's going like so, okay, the arc is moving up and over to the left, up and over to the left. Now the cylinder looks like, hey, that's going away from us. But at the same time, it could be coming towards us, okay? So this thumb, we got to be thinking, when we're drawing something realistic, is it moving away from us? Is it moving towards us? We look at this thumb in this particular case, it's moving away from us. It's going like so, and it's going like this, and I'm constantly looking at my reference. That line was wrong. And the thumb's slightly pointed. Okay, and that's rounded right there. What's this right there? Look, that's wrapping around. That's telling us that thumb's moving away from us, okay? This is wrapping around. It's telling us the thumb's moving away from us, okay? And that just so happens to be, you have a wrinkle in the thumb here, you have a wrinkle in the thumb there, and each digit of the finger, if you look at the fingers, we have these lines separating each digit, okay? You have underneath a bone on top of the finger. The top of the finger is bony and it's more square. It has tendon and bone and skin. Okay, the top of the finger. So that's more angular. Underneath, you have this tissue, this softer tissue that's more rounded, and it's meant to grab and to pinch things, okay? Overall, you can use both cylinders and boxes to draw each digit of the finger. So anyway, we got that done right there. Let's put in this crease right here of the hand. Now watch this. I'm gonna go like this, across, and then down. You see that? Watch that. I'm going across the top of the hand, or the bottom. I guess that could be the bottom or the palm. Okay, and then down the side. And then we're gonna go like this, this is another major crease coming across like so. And that's gonna be stretching, the skin stretching right there, okay? Hey, you're doing this. No. You don't cut anything. Just grab that paper right here. Just grab that paper right there. Yeah. Grab 2 sheets of that and a pencil. That's all you need. And just follow along. Okay. So, hopefully that's making sense with you guys. Now, let's look at this index finger first, okay? Now, the index finger's behind the middle finger. And we're just going to focus on that right now. So the first thing we can do is go, okay, this is going away from us, right? So it's like this. We're arcing away. Like so. Now, you can see here what I'm doing is the top part is darker. I'm giving more pressure here. This part right here, it's a lighter value, okay? So here, if we look at our reference, we're going, okay, this finger's attaching over here. And if we go like this and draw through, okay, drawing through, draw through. What is drawing through? That's drawing like it's the thing, whatever it is that you're drawing like it's made of glass. Okay? So, let me zoom in here for a minute. Okay, and show you this. Now watch. So this is going to go like that. That from this corner here, this right here, we made that hand box. That's going to come down like that. So this is what we can't see. So if I took all my fingers here and I chopped off my fingers, right? I'd have this like flat space. Well, flat, but it's kind of curved, as you can tell here. Okay, let me zoom back out a little bit here. Kind of flat, so you can see that these are, kind of curved. So this thing actually should be somewhat curved. This box should be somewhat curved, okay? Now this is coming all the way down here, like so. All right? Let's go back to this pointer finger. Let's look at it. Here's the gesture of this pointer finger. It's going like this. Now I'm going to make some more specific lines. And I'm doing this elongated S curve. So I'm kind of arcing under and over. And then here's the end of that pointer finger. And then I'm going to arc under a little bit, about halfway. About halfway. You're like, what are you talking about halfway? What I'm talking about is here, where the finger starts to the end of the finger, okay, halfway, that's about that first digit. Okay, if you look at a finger here, okay, I'm going to put this finger right here. You have about, here's that first knuckle, here's that first digit. So this is the first digit here. Okay, that's about halfway. It's not halfway, it's about, okay? Just to keep it simple. And then this digit from here to here, here to here, and here to here are about the same, okay? About, okay? So we got a line that we're going to put there. That's the middle. We want to keep an eye on that, and that is what this is right here. Okay, and then we're going to go, here's the last 2 digits, the separation of the last 2 digits right here. And then we're going to come all the way back, and we're going to connect to the hand, okay? So what we're drawing right now is a mannequin hand, okay? Mannequin hand. And a mannequin hand is composed of these basic forms. We're talking about 3D forms. We kind of put in the shape, and then we're focusing on these forms. I'm looking at this wrist right here. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to narrow it in a little bit right here. All right? So we have cylinders and boxes. Now, the pads, the ends of the fingers could be ovoids. And these for me, I'm always using cylinders, boxes, and ovoids, okay? Always using those. A box has like a corner or a hard edge, but we'll get into that in a minute. Okay. So I'm bringing that wrist in a little bit. I'm making it look more organic. I'm kind of curving that box thing. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking three-dimensionally. I'm thinking top, side, left side, right side, front, back, okay? Now let's do let's do this middle finger. The middle finger's doing this. It's starting about right here. It's connecting about right here, right? On the hand. And then it's coming from down here and we're going. It's angling upward and it's going a little bit, it's kind of lining up to this digit right there. Okay, that's what I'm noticing. And then it's angling up slightly like so, rounding the tip of that finger out, making sure that's rounded. And then I'm going to come back. I'm overlapping the tip of the index finger a little bit, coming back about halfway. And then I'm like, okay, well, where's halfway for this? That's about right there. If I'm looking at my reference, that's wrapping around. I'm going to make that finger a little bit bigger. And this is rounded. Now look, I'm rounded, coming back. That's going away from us. See, going away. How do we know it's going away? Because it's wrapping around like that. We're doing now. If it was coming towards us, you know, we would be doing this like that. Well, we'd darken this. We'll talk about that. That'd be like perspective. I mean, it's weird because the hand is moving away from us, but the wrist part is coming towards us as well. It's like this weird dichotomy. All right, so up here we have this, I made that a little bit too long, or I made this finger a little bit too short. So I'll make this finger a little bit longer, the index finger. And I'm gonna put a little bit of knuckle right here. I'm gonna go, okay, that's about where, see, I'm wrapping around. That's about where that second digit is. And this is the top of the finger here that I'm drawing. That is a sharper edge. See, I'm putting like a corner right here and a slight corner right there. Okay? Now, let's put this ring finger in. All right? So that ring finger is going to be attaching about right here. Okay? And then we're going to have this coming out. I'm going to do a long kind of S curve. And the tip of the finger's rounded. And I'm going to have this coming back. And make sure that the tips of your fingers aren't all bulbous. You want to make sure those are more narrow compared to the rest of the finger. This first digit of the finger needs to be the thickest part of the finger, okay? It's like it's that drumstick thing where you have your forearm is wide. This is your forearm, let's say, and then this is like your wrist area. And this is your elbow right here. Your forearm muscles this is all your musculature. It's more round. And then here, right here, you have your forearm, and then you have your hand, right, which attaches to that, and then you got your fingers that come down like so, right? But it gets wider to thin. And the fingers are the same way. You want to make sure they're wider to thin, unless you want to give it distortion for whatever reason and kind of draw in a weird way, which I like to do too sometimes. Okay, now, this pinky, okay, let's finish this ring finger because the pinky's, it's coming towards us in a different way. So ring finger's doing this, slight wrap like this. See, now I'm wrapping around, but it's not as drastic as this finger here, the middle finger, or it's not as drastic of an arc as the pointer finger or the ring finger. So the pointer finger or the middle finger. So this one has more of a closed ovoid or a closed ellipse. So it has a more of a narrow ellipse like this. So you want to be aware of something that's moving away from you faster is going to have a wider ellipse. So this ellipse is wide, this ellipse is narrow. Okay? And then we're going to have this is another digit about right here. So I'm thinking that's wrapping around, okay? And then this pinky's kind of doing a funky thing here, but it's doing what's to be expected. And we'll talk about that right now. So that pinky, we're going to go like this. Now this finger here, we have skin that's stretching. And then that pinky's doing this, arcing to the right, and that's moving upward. And that pinky's ending about at this digit right there, okay? So I'm aware of, okay, I'm being aware of distances between the fingers. I'm being aware of the angles of the fingers. I'm being aware of the, is this finger moving away from us more or towards us more?
Sorry about that.
All right, now, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. Yeah, yeah, she's good. Okay, so we're gonna round out that end right there. This is gonna come back like so. Now this is puckering right here. This is pinching right here a little bit. All right? Now these were arcing over to the left. This is arcing over to the right slightly. This is coming towards us. This is going away. This one's going away. This one's going away. This one's coming towards us. So that's why I changed these. You can see the creases in the digits there. So it's kind of this weird, funky thing, but that is slightly coming towards us. Okay? And there's a pucker of skin right here, and that will, or a pinch. Now here, let's put in a couple other stretches. So this is, we've constructed this hand, right? We've constructed this hand. Now let's start thinking of this in terms of, I want to talk to you guys about, and this is, I've made a cylinder. I've made this a cylinder. I've made this a cylinder. This is cylinder. But there's an element of the fingers that are box-like. And I want to point these out to you. So right here, what we could do, let's start at the pointer finger. Let's put a line going like so and a line going like so. Okay, now this finger can go across and down, across and down. And this is what I'm talking about, like that you can use the cylinder as a drawing tool to make it look believable, or you can use the box, and I need to angle that more actually. I just looked at that, boom. Need to angle that, that was wrong. Or you can use the box as a drawing tool. And sometimes you'll need to use both of them, okay? Like the values here on this finger right here, this middle finger, the values, the way the light's set up. And I'm going, okay, how's the light set up here? I'm seeing the lights coming at this angle like this. It's coming from the left, okay? So let's talk about shading really quick. Because we've only used line right now to construct this hand. Okay? And now let's talk about values. We talked about gesture and action. Maybe I need to refresh this. Oops. Okay. Refresh. Okay, here we go. Move that over. And then zoom out a little bit, right? Oh, I need to maximize this. Theater mode. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, sweet. Back on it. Okay, cool. So here we go. Let's look at this this middle finger right here. And let's look at the shadow line. So here's our shadow line coming down like this. We were talking about light and dark. Where does the dark begin? Because we already have the light of the page. So here's where the dark begins, and we shade in here. And if you want to shade, just do this today. Just scribble back and forth. It's a Z, just go back and forth like that, okay? And then here's the edge of this is where the shadow line begins. Let's just scribble back and forth like that, okay? You don't have to push down hard. And then here, let's look at this next digit. This is kind of it's curving like that. Okay, so it's curving like that. And let's shade this in like so. Okay, because why? Because the light is coming from the left, okay? Let's look at the pointer finger. I would say that I've already kind of made, I'm gonna erase this. I'm gonna erase this. But our shadow line, I would say, goes like this, down to the first knuckle, the second digit, I'll say digit. First digit, second digit down. So this is all in shadow here, okay? So I'm making a design decision. You know, sometimes you have to make a decision and go, and it helps. You know, you're editing. You're not like, we don't have to be exactly right here, okay? Let's go to the ring finger. So the ring finger here, shadow line. So I'm gonna curve this on the edge here, and this is gonna come back to that second digit, and I'm going down here like so, and let's shade this in. Okay, and let's look at that pinky. That pinky's almost all in shadow except for the end. So that shadow line is I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. That shadow line, we're gonna curve this way. And this is all in shadow, I would say. That whole pinky. Now, the hand part, the palm of the hand, so that thumb's kind of coming up. And I would say the shadow edge on the hand goes along this ridge right here. And the shadow line goes across this wrinkle here, and it comes down the middle of the palm of the hand. It wraps around the curvature of the thumb. So it wraps around the curvature of the thumb, and it goes up to that first digit of the thumb. That would be the first digit of the thumb, or where the knuckle is, okay? So watch carefully. This whole part is in shadow to me. So I'm going to make a decision because I know the light's coming from the left. So I'm thinking logically here. That's going to all be in shadow. All right? And then this part of the thumb up here, I'm going to curve this. Do an S curve like so. That's going to be in shadow. And let's go like this down the wrist. So we have these tendons in the wrist that pop up that are creating an edge, a box-like edge, and that's happening right here. And that's gonna be in shadow. Right in the middle, you have, let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see that. That's in shadow. And I would say that this part right here, the tendons are popping up. This part from here to here is in shadow, like so. Okay? And You guys know what I'm talking about there? Now, the rest of this, honestly, if we squint and look at this, the whole background's lighter than the whole hand. So what we need to do also, we could take your finger here and just gently just rub some of this graphite onto the skin to give it a slightly lighter value onto these white areas, because our reference, the hand, the fingers are not white. They have a tone to them. They have a, we have melanin in there. And so to slight tone, I'm going to take my pinky here and go over, and I'm grabbing the graphite that I already have down there. Okay, and we're gonna do that. And you can go back. Now, I want to talk about core shadow. I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit, and then we're almost done. But I want to talk about the core shadow. How are we doing? Okay, let me zoom out a little bit, so you guys can see that better. And zoom out a little bit more. You guys can see that better. Okay, core shadow. So a core shadow occurs where the light turns into the shadows. So right here along this edge is going to be the core shadow. This is going to be slightly darker. So what I'm doing is doing a small scribble, right? So we're just doing a small scribble right here. Okay, I'm going along the edge there to create that core shadow. And I'm going to do that along the edge of where light meets dark. Okay? And that gives it more of a three-dimensional quality. So I'm just going to go along there, put that core shadow in there. I'm just using a scribble to reinforce that core shadow, and I'm pushing down a little bit darker. Or push down a little bit harder, I should say. And what we also want to do at where there's a core shadow is blend it. So watch. So what I'm doing here is I'm blending more into the shadow side from the core shadow. And I'm just using I'm just scribbling or zigzag method technique and blending to the right on all those fingers. So without knowing anatomy, and knowing anatomy does help, okay? Without knowing anatomy, this is how you can approach drawing hands. And I want to do a couple more of these. I'm not going to do them today, but I want to do a couple more of these so we can really reinforce this idea and this concept and get it into your guys' heads to help you. I'm going to take the eraser too. I'm going to go, okay, maybe I want to leave a highlight or lighted area. So I'm going to lightly erase on the very edges of the hands, and I'm going to leave some of the outlining of the hand. But anyway, so that's our little hand tutorial today. But I want to do a couple more of those. I also want to I'm going to talk to you guys about feet. I'm going to talk to you guys about eyes, nose, mouth, heads, faces, all these great stuff that you need to know that is common foundational subject matter for art. And you can apply this to landscapes, to animals, to people, to objects, any object you want to draw, cars, etc. All right, that's it, guys.